I saw it, I'd seen fragments of it on the YouTube, and thanks to the Embassy of Costa Rica, I finally got to see the entire film. And it is, of course, as you know, not the first film which is made on Garcia Marquez's novels. Ever since, I mean, and Garcia Marquez himself, as all of you know, has been so closely related to cinema. You know, he was instrumental in establishing this film school in Cuba, the San Antonio de los Baños, the film school at San Antonio de los Baños, and he, in fact, I remember a long time back that we got to see these films made on his short stories in the Kerala Thiruvananthapuram Film Festival, but that was like a long time back when I was a student. It becomes difficult, it's difficult to get to see these films, though as I said, from 1979 onwards, there have been productions based on Garcia Marquez's films. I mean, there is this one called Maria My Dearest, there's one based on the story of Erendira. There is also, of course, the Man with the Enormous Wings, you know, so short stories. And there is this 6 video collection which was basically TV films on Garcia Marquez's stories, which was the one I was referring to, which came to the Kerala Film Festival, and short films, you know, made by Gabo himself. And of course, in 2007, there was this handsome Javier Bardem acting as, you know, in this Love in the Times of Cholera. But that was made in English, 2007, not a great success. But this particular film that we are going to watch today is a 2009 production, and an astonishingly assured debut production of this young Costa Rican film writer and director. I saw an interview, short interviews available in the YouTube, and this is, of course, as I said, her debut film, the very first one, and it just happened by chance. If you see that interview on YouTube, she says that, you know, she was in this screenwriting, you know, script writing class with Gabo, and she said, well, I mean, this seems to be a great novel to make a film on. In fact, if you look at it, almost all the novels of Garcia Marquez, of course, I've also forgotten to mention No One Writes to the Colonel, that also has been turned into a film. If you read his novels, any reader would just remember those images, just remember 100 Years of Solitude. You have Remedios La Bella, you have Remedios the Beauty. You know, there's this scene when she kind of ascends into the skies along with the bed sheets that she's drying. Now, for all filmmakers, I can see young filmmakers from Jamia here, you know, and I'm sure that once you see these stories, you know, there are so many. So any reader also just imagines these, you have to kind of visualize those, them, you know, and so you're kind of making a movie all the time you're reading Garcia Marquez. But even Garcia Marquez felt that this particular novel, a short novel, a 160-page novel, is perhaps the one which would lend itself best to a screen adaptation, to a screenplay. And so you had this young filmmaker, you know, taking upon herself the task of making a film on one of the legends of Latin American literature. Now, it's not easy, you know, when you are dealing with somebody like Garcia Marquez. You know, when I was translating his novel, I knew that I'm more than bouquets, I'm going to get brickbats, because it's like everybody will watch you with a lens. And therefore, I think it was a very brave thing to do for this young filmmaker to have just, you know, made her very first film on what I think is one of the most beautiful novels of Garcia Marquez. The novel, of course, we are celebrating, after all, the World Book Day and the birthday of Miguel de Cervantes, of Shakespeare, and of course in Garcilaso from Latin America. And if you look at this book, it's a very short novel of love and other demons. And in fact, I would say that after 100 Years of Solitude, it is perhaps the only other novel of, apart from this, short stories of course are different, but the only other novel of Garcia Marquez which can actually be labeled again as magical realism. That's a term which one finds very problematic, because even in the novel, those of you who've read the novel would remember that what Garcia Marquez is actually trying to do is trying to tell you that there is one kind of rationality and then there is an alternative rationality. That the opposite of truth is not lie, it's an alternative truth. So I think that is what he's doing in the novel, though Hilda Hidalgo herself has not taken the entire novel. It's a slender novel. It perhaps could have been, the entire novel could have been turned into a film, but I noticed that, and she says it in her interviews, that she has given centrality to the love story of this young girl who's the protagonist of the film. And she says that I have chosen the point of view of young Sierva Maria. So the protagonist of the film, I mean, obviously I'm not going to tell you what the film is about, but the fact that this is this 12-year-old daughter of an aristocrat, a white, a Creole, Creoles were the Spaniards born in Latin America. It was a settler colonialism, so not many people were, coming from Spain. There were very few. So the people who were born in Latin America but were white, and you know that race mattered a lot in colonial Latin America. So the film, of course, is set in 18th century. It's colonial Latin America, colonial Colombia, and so it is. One would think that it is the height of enlightenment. It is the height of Illuminismo. It is the height of Western rationality, and yet the Inquisition and slave trade is at its zenith. So this is the contradiction. You have a Europe which is celebrating rationality, and it is. But when it comes to the colonies, and even within Spain, I mean, the Inquisition died a natural slow death in 1836. It went on till mid-19th century, and of course, the film is about this clash. The novel, at least, is about this clash. So there is this beautiful, quote from Goya, which is there. It says that the sleep of reason produces monsters. But I think when you read this novel, you would say it's the monsters of reason that produce, the kind of abuse you see in this film. So the sleep of reason may produce monsters, but rationality also has its own monsters. And that's what we see in this film, that this young girl gets bitten by a dog, and rabies was supposed to be leading to demoniac possession. So when the title of the novel and the film, Of Love and Other Demons, love is of course demoniacal in itself. Love is a demon, but what are these other demons that we are talking about? And I think that's where the film, of course, perhaps takes a different track. As I said, it gives centrality to the love story of this young woman, young girl, and the point of view of, in the film, the director has said in her interviews, is that of Sierva Maria, this young girl. Of course, I promised you that I won't say much about the film, but I think I must say that the director has been able to produce this dream-like quality which one would label as magical realism. So indeed, the entire film has this, and Sierva Maria, she speaks very less. In the novel also, she speaks very less. So she's there almost as a mute character, and I think that makes her so much stronger, because she only has her eyes, her body to express herself, and she does it beautifully. Of course, this woman is beautiful. She's a Colombian girl from Bogota, who's playing Sierva Maria's role. What's her name? Elisa Triana. Elisa Triana is the name. And so it's a mix. The cast is mainly Colombian, but the director is Costa Rican. So it's a Costa Rica-Colombia kind of production. But certainly, if this is what the young filmmakers from Costa Rica like, Your Excellency, Mr. Ambassador, we are waiting for the fair in May, because it's a beautiful film and lovely cinematography. Not much, there's hardly any sound in it. I mean, use of, a little bit of guitar, but a lot of tropical noises. And therefore, and along with the kind of lens work which is done, along with the kind of colors that are used, even the, this dark cell of Sierva Maria where she's kind of imprisoned, it looks like an animated jungle. So it's a beautiful film, and I I think I'll leave it there. A beautiful fare awaits you, and it's not just the strength of Garcia Marquez's novel. I think it is this entire combination of fantastic acting by the two lead actors, who've done the role of the priest who comes to exorcise Sierva Maria, and this 13-year-old actress. Her first role, of course, very first time she's acting in a film. So the two lead actors, almost an impeccable performance by both of them. What I really liked was, of course, I'm not a great specialist in cinema, but one has been watching a lot of cinema, and I really like the quality of color which is used in, I don't know how he did it, I'm not a specialist as I say, but some kind of a lens used, lovely colors, and contrasts with beautiful colors and darkness. So it's I think there's something which all cinema lovers would look forward to. The film is slow, but so for us Hollywood, Bollywood fans, it is a bit of a challenge, but I think you'll enjoy it. With these few words, I thank once again the Costa Rican Embassy, Your Excellency yourself, and of course the Instituto Cervantes Jesus for having given me this lovely opportunity to be here this evening. Thank you.